Love is a social construct, said Jelly. Is love a social construct? Well, I mean, it's this whole thing that has a lot of connotations to it, doesn't it? Love. But it's also a feeling. Something more than sexual attraction, isn't it? What is it? Is it just, I mean, like, is it a social construct or is it something that you feel? I feel like it's probably a combination of that, because what is the feeling, you know what I mean? I feel like people's just terrifying fear and anxiousness that they get from being alone, when you don't have that, it's probably comforting. So it's probably the fear of that person not being there, mixed with sexual attraction, and just when I don't know, but you know, it's definitely everyone's like oxytocin, indeed, perhaps. Love is genuine. It's wrapped up in layers of constructs. Oh, I agree with you. What was that? I mean, oh my god, look at these comments, they're so articulate. It's not a sort of construct, it's real, and some people never find it. Wow. So I guess some people might never find it. You could, though. It's fine. I want to get rid of it. It makes you look gay, said Sans. You and George can sit in the corner and be like, boo, remove it. Cool. Things can't look like a sexuality. It's very tempting to make easy jokes about Dan looks like a lesbian. Dan, the pastel video is gay. That's actually problematic to say that stereotype. I mean, obviously correlations between behavior and stereotypes do exist, but when things are kind of feeding into heteronormativism and the harmfulness of everybody's living inside a patriarchy, and the bullying that exists within the male system with things threatening their masculinity, that's just a bad thing, you know, and people stereotyping sexuality and behavior and gender isn't a good thing. So you can say, oh, that guy looks like a lesbian, or oh, the flowers, that's a bit gay, and it's not necessarily the most offensive thing, but on a level it is slightly bad, because you are reinforcing those things, you know. So it's funny, because next time you'd be like, oh, I totally look like a lesbian, it's like, that might seem like that, but saying there's nothing wrong with a lesbian happening to look like whatever masculine is, or whatever, but you know what I mean. He doesn't look gay, he looks a bit girly, and I like that. Who's to say that this should be girly, though? Why? What is girly? What is looking feminine? You go to nature, you got a female lion, they're all meaty as heck. Tell you what, lionesses at the zoo, they were thick as heck, look at those thighs. Male lion, skinny as heck, sat in the corner. What is feminine? Who's to say that a girl has to wear pink and like flowers? Why can't a boy like flowers? Gender roles make no sense at all, honestly. It's just one of the things that make no sense. Like, you can say, oh, men are stronger, therefore they should be the hunters and the whatever, and then go, okay, but in our modern society that means nothing. That's like grounded in some kind of biology, but like wearing pink, liking flowers or not liking flowers, that makes no sense. There's like literally no like background for it, you know. There's a difference between things that have some kind of evolutionary biological basis that we can say, well, now in our modern society that's a pointless issue that we shouldn't let define us, but then there's things that don't even make any sense otherwise. So there's Dan's rant on the flower crown criticism. But that's, you know, whatever, it's fine. I'll take it off in a bit, because frankly, physically I can't take you seriously. Okay, there we go, it's off. I'm starting to get wig hair. I'm starting to get sweaty under that thing. Here we are. Ooh, manly Dan is back. Love wins. We're learning about the reproductive system in a mixed class. I think that's good. I think that's good. Honestly, schools that divide people via gender, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, what you're trying to do there, stop people from being distracted by sex and romance. Firstly, non-straight people exist. Secondly, toxic masculinity in all-male schools and the horribleness that is girls being mean to each other in all-girls schools is probably worse than any kind of flirty distraction that would happen. And I think that, you know, people of either gender learning about how the opposite sexes' bodies work is a good thing. You know, if more boys knew about how menstruation worked, and more girls understood how male puberty worked, life would be less confusing, especially as a teenager, where everything is just terrifying and confusing. What about when you're asexual? That's fine. You know, you can have any sexual identity you want. It's okay. You can feel as specifically sexual or non-specifically sexual as you please. Dan. Hi, Dan. Can I be pansexual and asexual at the same time? You don't have to define it. You know, there's lots of words, and words can be good. You know, there's a million words for genders, there's a million words for sexual, and what they can be good for, these labels, are for helping you to understand your feelings. Because if you see a description of something written down, you can think, that's how I feel. And maybe if you want to, you know, convey your personalities to somebody, then you can look that up and you could go, yeah, you know what I mean. Maybe you're a panromantic asexual, which means, you know, I can feel attraction to genders, but I don't feel particularly sexual. Maybe it's just at this point in my life, maybe that'll change in 10 years, and that's just a way to do it. I know that some people argue that sexuality and all these labels and definitions are different things, but we don't even know what sexuality means. So, I'm ace and tired, said Phoebe. That's fine. I'm ace, but what if I change my mind? That's okay, you know, honestly. You know, on one hand, you don't have to label yourself. A lot of Tumblr, they make you feel like I need to label myself with these complicated labels to be cool. You don't have to. If you want to just be a formless blob, a mess that struggles to define themselves from moment to moment, that's also okay. You can use labels if you wish, if it helps them to define yourself, and you can change. You can say, I feel like all my friends and family and people at school are pressuring me to get into relationships, but I feel internally like I identify as asexual because I don't feel like I'm about that. And then maybe, who knows, in 5 years, you'll want to date somebody. That's fine. You can label yourself to tell people what kind of personality you have right now if you want, or not if you feel like you want to change your mind. It's okay. It's cool. It's fine. I'm just concerned for all you... Queer is a good umbrella term. It is, for basically, I like that as a word for just everything that isn't normative, which is, you know, straight, white, cis males that are born in capitalist countries into rich families. The opposite of the current society privilege, as an umbrella term for people who maybe aren't represented or treated as fairly, that society should work on representing more. Indeed. Do you support gay rights? Yes. Okay.
A little bit of Monica in my life, a little bit of Erica by my side, a little